Yo, what's up everyone? French Fry Warrior here, and we are back for Record of Ragnarok Chapter 101. A quick recap of the previous chapter will start first, so if you want to skip the recap, then jump to this time on the screen, or click the time code in the description. Chapter 100 picks up after Loki sent his Thor, Odin, and Heracles clone after Simo in the mountains. As the clones make their way towards Simo, everyone wonders what kind of magic or technique Loki has just unveiled. The clones advance through the forest, tearing down trees in their path. Meanwhile, Ares cries at the sight of seeing Heracles again, and Jack is pretty angry, stating that this is unacceptable. Heimdall wonders what counterattack Simo will launch, and before he knows it, Simo has already disappeared, hiding somewhere in the vast snowy forest. Loki realizes he'll never find him like this, so he pulls out a ring. The ring emits a black fog, while Loki plans to increase the numbers. The mist covers the entire village, and even more clones of Heracles, Odin, and Thor all appear. So many in fact that there are over 100 that covers the village. Loki sends his army forward. Others worry for Simo being caught soon and has a hard time figuring out how this technique works. Loki asks Simo if he's scared, and he offers some advice to help make the game more fair. Simo listens as Loki reveals his ability is the power to copy anything in creation. Using a squirrel as a demonstration, he uses his fingertips to input anything he touches and stores it. He then generates an output, recreating what he stored from the palm of his hands. He can recreate anything he touches, whether it be objects, humans, or gods. Additionally, with this sacred treasure ring, he can create an infinite number of copies, whereas normally he can only make 5. Loki then gloats at his advantage with the battlefield and lets out his weak point, being the bigger the number, the more power gets distributed. He regrets saying it, but then brushes it off. Ares criticizes Loki for revealing that, but both Hermes and Zeus agree that Loki wouldn't do such a careless thing on purpose. While Loki was telling the truth about the input, output, and more copies equal less power, his deception truly lied in the fact that he can distribute the power, but doesn't have to do it in an equal or uniform way. Meaning, he can have one extremely strong clone amongst an army of weaker clones. The true terror is if Simo shoots a weaker copy, then he'll let his guard down. Even if he shoots a powerful one first, it'll give the idea that the rest of them are just as strong, causing high levels of pressure. Either scenario can cause Simo to lose his composure, allowing Loki to gain the advantage. This is Loki's true intention, to ensure Simo's defeat and make Brunhild regret her choice. Loki laughs as no one can escape from his jester hands as his army continues to search for Simo, when suddenly a gunshot is heard, following a bright flash. Simo fired a bullet from his rifle with a velocity of 810 meters per second that surpassed the speed of sound over 2 times. Upon firing, the bullet emitted a bright light that began to split and bud into many more bullets, creating a hailstorm of bullets that bloomed like flowers. All the clones look stunned as the bullets start to strike them. Many are wiped out as Loki is shocked. Even his reinforced Thor copy was obliterated easily. Everyone watched in amazement as Simo dealt with the entire army in one shot that is now fading away. Loki is upset by this and realizes that Brunhild really did select a skilled warrior. Finally, we see where Simo is located, and we notice that he begins to bleed from his mask, most likely his mouth, as he says one in his Finnish language. Simo may have beautifully thwarted Loki's army, but it does seem to have come at a cost. Will Simo be able to finish off Loki quickly before he sacrifices himself, or will Loki prove to be too much and overwhelm Simo? This new chapter opens with Loki's clones fading away, and Heimdall announces that it only took one shot to wipe out the enormous number of copies of the three gods. A replay is played on the monitor as we see the bullet once again becoming a scattering shot and spill the god's blood in the air. Loki and some remaining clones stand behind the tree while Loki estimates the direction of the light and the sound from the gunshot. He also takes the scope of the damage into account and assumes that he's hiding behind a log structure far away. The camera still has a hard time finding and keeping up with Simo as the falling snow helps erase his tracks wherever he moves. All the human spectators are amazed at the power of humanity's strongest sniper and compliment him for taking out a large number of enemies. Jack lets out a sigh of relief, and both he and his Valkyrie agree that the fakes just don't compare to the original. Jack, however, is still concerned for Simo. What Simo did was fragment one bullet into a scattershot, which is an exceptional skill. Hollock is confused and doesn't understand what scattershot means, so Jack explains that a regular bullet is basically a point because the bullet is focused on a single point with high piercing power and low range. In contrast, with scattershot, it's an area attack that scatters many small projectiles at once. This has a wide area of attack, but lacks piercing power and the range, making it not suitable for sniping. Meanwhile, for Simo's attack, none of these drawbacks were present. The range, power, and accuracy was not matching what a normal scattershot should be capable of. Lastly, Jack hypothesizes that there's a special ability behind this and wonders what kind of emotion was contained in that bullet. Ares laments at the sight of seeing Heracles die again, even if it was a fake. Worse yet, he was killed with a gun. He takes note that firearms were created by humanity, therefore it cannot harm a god. But would the same thing apply to copies created by divine power, he questions? He asks Hermes what does he think, and Hermes is confused as well, and assumes that maybe the Volund allows such a thing to be possible. Zeus takes a guess that Brunhilde prepared some other trick as she stands watching the match. A door behind her opens and she assumes it's Gaul, but it's actually Buddha. Brunhilde questions, is there something he needs? He replies that something interesting caught his attention during the fight. He recognizes that Simo is pretty terrifying. He also elaborates that the shared destiny he taught Brunhilde is a technique where humans and Valkyries combine each other's souls, allowing a human's body and a Valkyrie's weapon to be effective against the gods using the Volund process. With this info, even if a Valkyrie becomes a gun, or even if they share souls with the shared destiny, the only thing that should work against the gods is the human's body itself or the gun itself. Buddha theorizes that Brunhild probably made special bullets for him, because otherwise what he should have fired should have been a normal bullet. He questions what are those bullets, and Brunhild disagrees as she has nothing to do with them. It's simply the price to pay. Buddha is baffled by what she means, and she tells him that among all of humanity and the gods, she believes Simo is the only one capable of firing those bullets. Next, we learn that before Simo fired the bullet, he called out his kidney and it began to glow. The kidney contorts itself, runs through Simo's body, and enters the bullet, completing a process called Isanma, or Reaper's Contract, whichever you prefer. This ability permits Simo to create a powerful enhanced bullet in exchange for one of his organs as the price. Buddha is shocked to hear this and wonders why would Simo fight like that. Yes, it works against the gods, but it seems far too painful to Buddha. However, he respects him for that as he begins to wonder what kind of life Simo had, causing him to make such a choice. Brunhild states that Simo became a war hero by killing many enemies, and even though he was fighting to protect his fatherland, the act of shooting people was a complete unbearable pain for Simo. Due to this, the power he created will destroy his body and spirit, as he views this as atonement. Simo reloads his bolt rifle and calls upon his liver to sacrifice next as it glows. The bullet is now in hands, and Simo coughs up more blood through his mask. To Simo, this pain is his soul salvation as he takes aim for his next shot in a tree, bringing the double chapter to a climactic close. Alright. Hear me out. Simo might be cooking. As shown in the last chapter, I did like his bullet bloom-like technique, and luckily we got his ability also explained. Not gonna lie, I like it. It really puts some pressure on Simo to really make his shots count. So yes, the human body has 78 organs, which is a damn lot, but that doesn't necessarily mean he has 78 shots. This is because we see him cough blood, indicating a slight blood loss. Now I'm sure Loki will eventually get close to Simo, and neither will come out unscathed, so we gotta keep that in mind. And Loki can also accelerate that blood loss process as well, or worse yet, he may strike an organ as well, decreasing Simo's chances. Basically, what I'm saying is Simo might die from blood loss before he can use the majority of his organs. Or who knows, maybe his Valkyrie will keep him together and alive. Dude really does have his stealth stat at the max too. I would be tight if I was Loki, always having to look for this dude. I also have to pay some respect to Simo, like Buddha said. Brother is taking this pain as atonement for killing people. He killed in self-defense, but he still punishes himself for it. It's just hella respectable. It's also interesting how the idea of the bullets are supposed to be normal was brought up, because technically they are right. It should just be the gun itself that harms the gods, but at least now we know that both the rifle and the bullets are normal until Simo enhances that bullet. I wonder what the correlation between the organ he sacrifices and the power or ability he can embed in the bullet is. Like, the bigger or more vital the organ means the more power, because that scatter shot he did for just a kidney is insane. Then again, we should have expected this, since this is the man who once again repelled an enormous amount of soldiers during war and has a dummy high body count. So now Loki is gonna have to put in his thinking cap, and fast, cause it seems like Simo has him in his sights and just gave up his liver too. Last thing on Simo is, I wonder if the organ is done after one use, or can he use that one organ multiple times? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Finally, Gaul has to get back in the match. She's missing all the action. And I'm surprised Bruna and Brunhild did not discuss about this more, about her disappearance, but maybe they will next chapter. Overall, nice cool display of power from Simo. I thought Loki's army was going to do a little more, but I guess not. Good chapter, can't wait until next month, and that's all I have for y'all today. Thanks for watching the video as usual. I appreciate y'all. Stay safe out there, be good people, peace.